You got Leon D here, and we're going to talk about food. I'm not an expert on anything to do with food, but I've been around a long time, and I am a professional barbecuologist. I know food. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know a lot of things that you may not like. That's the intro for Leon D. Let's get it on. This is your boy Leon D. I'm back on the microphone telling you about a couple of places I visited recently. It's got food related to it, but this is about the city of Memphis, Tennessee. Now, like I said earlier, I've been there 3 or 4 times as an adult, and some things make me wonder. So I got to discuss them with you. Now, like I said earlier, if you want some food other than barbecue in Memphis, it's gonna be hard to find. And Memphis is a city of about 700,000 people. It's supposed to be the largest city on the Mississippi, and I promise you, some places you should never go once, but I made a mistake of going to a place I should never go once. I went 4 times. That's Memphis. There's not a lot there to see. I mean, it really is not a lot to see. Once you have barbecue a couple times at a couple of the so-called famous places and a couple of the shacks on the side of the road going toward Mississippi, you done seen all there is to see. You have seen it all. I guess I wonder what attracts people to Memphis. It's got to be more than just a barbecue. And Memphis is a city that I don't think anybody have insurance, car insurance. I don't think they have it all, because every car I seen inside the city limits had a dent in the front or the back, mostly the front. That tells me that they cannot stop intentionally when they want to stop. They stop by hitting your car. And people just cut you off for no reason at all. I'm getting ready to exit. This guy comes on my left-hand side and just passes me up on the exit ramp, which is only for one lane. And then he's at the light. When I'm at the light, looking at me like I did something wrong for not going 80 miles an hour in a 40 mile an hour zone. So Memphis is kind of strange. And I was driving to the airport, and this guy was doing 100 miles an hour. I seen him a mile back, and within a couple of seconds, he was passing me up. And I was 2 lanes over. Thank God for that. Because right behind him was a police officer chasing him. And I don't know what he did or what the cop did to him. I don't get into all that because I was not a witness to anything that happened there outside of him driving like an idiot and just passing people with like an inch to spare, scaring the hell out of everybody on the highway. But here's the thing that's funny about Memphis, though. Memphis is a city of, they say, 700,000, and I guess the metro area got about 1.2 million people there. I have no clue to what they all do for a living. They all can't work at FedEx. They all can't be at UPS. But I'm going to tell you one thing Memphis has a lot of. Memphis has a lot of hospitals. I'm talking about a lot of hospitals. And now, everybody in the hospital, as we all know, can't be a damn doctor or a nurse. Well, I mean, everybody can't be one. Somebody got to be cleaning asses. And I think that's most people in those hospitals. They got a lot of hospitals. And what it makes me think, everybody in Memphis sick of something. They are sick of something. I'm thinking to myself, why is so many hospitals here for this number of people? They got more hospitals than New York City, and they're all spread out. They're not like this small, 1-story, a quarter of a block hospital. No, these hospitals are blocks long. Not just St. Jude's. All of them are big as hell. I mean, they're huge. And I say that because watching people drive, I know why they got a lot of hospitals. Those idiots are in the hospital when they crash into somebody else. It's almost like when you look at cars in Memphis, it's like you think that they don't have insurance because nobody gets a car fixed, it seems. It's like a demolition derby. I mean, and then they got speed traps everywhere. The state police must have nothing to do outside of speed traps. And nothing wrong with the speed trap, but when everybody's doing 70 and no one's driving dangerously, leave them alone. Leave them alone. So it's one of the things that's kind of weird as hell when you're driving around Memphis Now, like I said earlier, inside the city, everybody's car got a dent on it. Everybody car. I seen cars that should not be on the road, let alone drivable. I seen a guy car, no lie. His trunk was touching the hood and somehow he was in there driving. And he had no shame in his game and was hunking at women like no big deal. I'm thinking to myself, who in the hell want to ride in that piece of crap you got? But then when you look at him and you look at the car behind him, they are worse off than he is. I mean, they are worse off than he is. And I was thinking to myself, I said, Jesus Christ, don't somebody have something to say about these cars on the road like this? You can't even read his tag. His tag is crumpled up. But yet he is driving every single day, going to work, picking his kids up, whatever. He had a 4-door car. I swear to God, you could only see 2 doors, and I think I only saw 1. Because the back door was just crushed. I mean, they were just crushed. You know, it is one of those things that it is what it is. But at the same time, you're thinking, somebody got to have a car with no dents and scratches on it. If you want to see cars with no dents and scratches on it, you must go to the suburbs. You must go to the suburbs. Because in the city, you're just not going to see it. And, you know, the Memphis cops, I don't know them. I never had an encounter with them. But they spend a lot of time looking at cars on the highway which have no dents in it, wondering why. Why don't he have dents? Because I would be at a traffic light and the cop would just wave at me. I would wave back. I'm thinking, what's his problem? You know what I mean? Don't you got some crime to be? No. You know, some crime to be at? No, he's looking at me like, okay, why isn't your car dented up? Something's wrong with this whole picture here. Either you didn't do something wrong, but we know you're going to, so we're going to watch you before you do it. So saying that, I went to visit a friend, and he was doing a charity event at St. Jude's. You know, one of these things where, pretend you're a clown for a day. Well, he's a clown every damn day. They just don't know it. And so, and then he says, hey, the cafeteria is kind of nice. Who in the hell wants to eat at a hospital cafeteria for a meal? You eat at a hospital cafeteria because you have no other choice. Not because it's a great idea to do when you got other options. When you got no options, like no legs, then you go to the hospital, you go to the cafeteria closest to you. But he made it sound like it was something great to do. Like, hey, we can just take a tour of all the hospital cafeterias in Memphis. That'll take you a week and a half. And then the other thing too about Memphis, Tennessee, they promote places like Graceland and all this other stuff. But you got the National Black Museum there that they don't really promote that very, very much. I did not see that museum on any sign on the freeway, but I saw signs for everything else. St. Jude's, people, I got news for you. It is not a tourist attraction. Hospitals are not tourist attractions. Yes, so that is just the way it is. But yet, on the freeways, you see all these brown signs about all these hospitals and all these museums, but not one about the National Black Museum or the African American Museum. You see none of that being promoted. And you would think that people might want to go see that when they leave Graceland or before they go to Graceland. Not everybody wants to go see Elvis stuff. Now, nothing wrong if you do, but you got other options there too, though. And that's the part that killed me the most. I'm like, you got all these options and they're promoting the stuff that not everybody wants to see. Memphis, I'm sure they got things that you want to see. I just didn't see it. And I drove around Memphis for 3 damn days. And yet they hyped the Mississippi River. Now, let me tell you something. I went to the Mississippi River, and the only thing you see from the Mississippi River is muddy water in Arkansas, which is ugly as hell by itself. I mean, Arkansas is ugly. I mean, you can sense it's ugly, but when you go to a couple of the parks, like on Greenbelt Park, you look across the Bay Bridge, and not Bay Bridge, across the bridge, and I had my drone, and I was looking at Arkansas. I didn't see nothing over there that made me want to cross from Memphis. Now, Memphis is a big old spread out city. It's flat. It's flat as hell. No mountains at all. It's spread out, but it's spread out because people are running from each other. The people in the suburbs don't go to the city for nothing. They let me know that. Even when I was staying in East Memphis in a hotel, the people I was meeting with was talking about Memphis like it was a different universe, a different planet. But yet, they're the same ones that love Memphis when they're supporting the sports teams. And now I'm going to tell you the most disappointing place I went in Memphis. So very, very, very disappointing. Years ago, I used to enjoy Beale Street. Beale Street is no longer Beale Street. It's about a block long and no cars, which is cool. You walk a block long and that's it. At night, it's a little bit more livelier, but also the crime is a little bit more dependent upon you being ignorant too. So the crime is there. But, there's nothing going on in Memphis during the daytime. I understand that. Everybody got a job. What kind of jobs they got? Making minimum wage? I don't know. But Memphis is it's not like a Pittsburgh or it's more like a Cleveland. Nothing has taken off. They still lost in time. They are lost in time. Pittsburgh has reinvented itself as a tech hub, a medical hub. Memphis is a medical hub, but you think to yourself, what do people do here for a living? What do people do here to make me want to stay here? Now, if I was a doctor, you got all these these hospitals and medical universities and all this kind of stuff. I'm good with all that because I'm making good money. I'm living in a cheap city. I'm living the life. But if I'm not one of those people, you can't work in hotels. Hotels don't pay you enough to maintain a living and have your own place. You can't clean the asses all day. You got to do something more. But Memphis is one of those cities that you think to yourself, what do they do? You don't know. Because I didn't see not one person who was not white in a position of power or control. I didn't see not one. The restaurants, I went to probably 8 or 9 restaurants. They don't open for breakfast. No, you got to go to McDonald's or Burger King or Hardee's or whatever. And, the South love Waffle Houses, which is like the nastiest place you can eat. A Waffle House is a place that you only go when everything else is closed due to snow or whatever reason they have you. So it was just interesting that people stay there. But I did find this out though. A lot of people who work in the hotels and other places in Memphis, they all come from Mississippi. If Memphis is the city that you dream about going to, and you're from Mississippi, you're wasting your damn dreams. You're wasting your damn dreams. There's nothing to dream about. You can't, everybody can't work in a barbecue joint. Everybody can't do that. Nope, it's not designed that way. Because those places aren't paying you. They're not paying you $25, $30 an hour so you can afford a place to live at. You got a kid whose dream is to grow up and live in Memphis. That's a messed up dream. Why even waste the dream on something like that? So the whole thing is kind of weird like that. Because I was thinking to myself, if I live here, what would I do? There's no major federal agencies. There's no high tech, maybe you can work for a university, and I'm sure unless you're a professor, they're not paying you very much. And then again, rent could be damn near free. I still wouldn't stay in Memphis though. But if you're from Olive Grove or wherever in Mississippi, I guess that's something to look up to. If you're from Jackson or Vicksburg, Biloxi, I guess Memphis is the next best thing. Hell, I'd rather go to New Orleans because that city ain't got a lot of, you can work in a restaurant there because they got a lot of restaurants and they got a lot of tourist attractions. Memphis don't have any of that. So I don't know what it is that I would do in Memphis. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for work, That's one of those cities that I would only go to in May when they have the barbecue contest. When they have the barbecue contest, I would go there in May. But if it's not May, I ain't going because I can't think of one humanitarian reason to go to Memphis that I think can benefit me or anybody I know. Because not Memphis, Tennessee itself. Now, saying that, they got nice freeways. It's flat. They got pretty good weather. They call themselves the Mid-South. You know, they love wrestling and that kind of stuff, and they love basketball, which is kind of cool. You know, you got the University of Memphis there, and they probably got a couple other universities. You know, but I think the University of Memphis is probably the big boy. You know, probably the big boy. But when I was there, the Memphis Grizzlies had a basketball game, and they were playing the Lakers, I think. On the news, they said they had tickets starting at $6 a ticket. Some was on StubHub for $5 a ticket. You're gonna go to a professional event for $5 a ticket. At that price, I can take my whole damn neighborhood. It doesn't matter who win or lose. The Lakers tickets are like $300 in LA. So if you want to see the Lakers or any pro sports team, go to Memphis. Because they're going to come there eventually, and your tickets will be damn near free. I mean, it's just odd that a city of their size, and like I said, it seemed like it's a city of have and have-nots. I seen some nice houses there, and I was thinking to myself, these houses are nice. You know, but then again, when you go in the city, it's a different ball game. You know, East Memphis is a lot nicer than Memphis itself. South Memphis, I can't imagine that being anything of value because that borders Mississippi, and they're all leaving Mississippi to go to Memphis. You know, now that may be where your best food is because I've never really spent time in South Memphis, but I did see a lot of Popeyes chickens and other kind of things there in South Memphis. East Memphis seems to be more upscale, and Germantown, I guess, is where the wealth is. You know, anything outside of anything on the outer ring of 240. Of I-240 seems to be where the money is and where the economic clout is. But anything inside the 240, no. It seemed like it was just a forgotten city. You know, a forgotten city. So you can take a chance and go to Memphis, but once you have your first taste of barbecue, it's time to go wherever you came from, unless you're from Mississippi. You know, it's time to go back to the north, go back out west. You know, I guess if you're from the Midwest, Memphis is a typical big city town. But you're from the East Coast and maybe even the South, Memphis is not it. It's just a big town with, you got to struggle with things to do. I guess the best thing about Memphis that I saw was that they got great internet speed. They have that. So when you go to certain cities, try and find things of value and things that you may like. Some places are just hard to do that. Memphis is one of those cities. It's like, I've been there for 3 hours. Okay, what's next? It's not like I'm going to see a museum of national prominence, even though they have a few of them there, I think. They have a few of them there. And like I said, with all the hospitals, you start thinking that everybody in Memphis got a medical problem. Because I'm thinking they got a lot of damn hospitals here. Everybody got a problem, or is it just me? But then again, when I saw all the cars, all with dents and bangs and stuff on them, I'm like, that's why they got a lot of hospitals, because they be tearing cars up. And yet cops don't stop them. It's got to be a law saying that if you can't see out the back or the front of your car, your windshield or your rearview mirror or your rearview window, you can't drive that car. Nope. In Memphis, they drive the hell out of them. They don't care if they can see out the front or the back or whatever. I seen side mirrors all dangling down off the car, and people are still driving the hell out of them, not getting stopped. But yet, if you got a car with no problems, no nothing, you might get stopped because you are an outlier. Everybody sees you. You're different. Your car's clean. And the other thing about Memphis that I noticed, you don't see car washes. No, you don't see car washes at all. And I seen cars that have been washed in like, I don't know, I'm gonna say 2 or 3 years. Maybe, I know some are longer. Because once you get once your car is cracked up, how you gonna wash it? Car is not designed to wash angles and triangles and pyramids. That's how some of the cars are shaped. Those are sharp edges. You can't just wash those things. But it is what it is. This is your boy Leon, DJ Leon saying, hey, save your money, save your time. Some places don't go because there's nothing there to do, but the weather's nice. You got a dirty river that goes through the whole city, or, Mississippi and Arkansas and Tennessee, it can be almost one state. Just call it, Mississippi or something, it could be one state, call it Tennessee, call it something. But this is your boy Leon D. I'm out. We'll chat later. Peace out.